If your company is exploring lower carbon fuel solutions, did you know that biodiesel is one of the easiest and most effective fuel options you can incorporate into your fleet operations? Welcome, everyone, to another webcast from Chevron. I'm Julie Haverly, Head of Integrated Go-to-Market at Chevron, and I'll be hosting another one of our webcast series. And we're going to discuss today the basics of biodiesel. What is biodiesel? And why this lower carbon fuel option is easy to incorporate and how it affects your engine performance. As Chevron continues to provide lower carbon fuel solutions to our customers, one of the most readily available options is biodiesel. And so today I would like to introduce one of Chevron's experts, Kelsey Erickson, to help us learn a little more about biodiesel. Kelsey, can you start with a quick introduction before we get started?
Great, thanks, Julie. My name is Kelsey Erickson. As Julie mentioned, I'm the team lead, commercial quality here at Chevron Renewable Energy Group. Looking forward to talking some biodiesel today.
Thank you, Kelsey. So on that note, my first question for you, what is biodiesel?
Thanks, Julie. This is a question we get quite frequently. So if you don't know, here we go. Biodiesel is a renewable, biodegradable fuel manufactured from vegetable oils, waste animal fats, or even restaurant greases, commonly referred to as used cooking oil. What makes biodiesel different than petroleum diesel fuel is biodiesel is made up of a variety of feedstocks, again, these fats and oils, including renewable resources that are largely plant-based, with their energy coming from the sun versus fossil fuels. These feedstocks are often diverted waste or byproducts from other industries, providing a new use rather than going to the landfill. So in fact, biodiesel's lifecycle greenhouse gas emissions are estimated to be up to 88% lower than those of petroleum diesel fuel due to the recycling of the carbon already in the atmosphere versus releasing additional carbon during traditional petroleum refining.
We hear a lot about biodiesel being easy for fleets to incorporate. So I'm curious if you could shed a little bit more light on what makes it easy for fleets to incorporate into their business.
Yeah, the beautiful thing about biodiesel is that it's a drop-in convenient fuel that fleets have been using for millions of miles. This means that when a fleet or a customer chooses to use biofuels, they can use their existing diesel fuel vehicles, their fueling infrastructure, what they have, giving diesel fuel fleets a solution for lowering life cycle carbon emissions quickly using their existing equipment.
I know the first question we get from fleets and from companies that are looking into incorporating this into their operations is, how's this going to affect my engine performance? I want to keep my fleets on the road. I want to keep trucks moving. And I want to make sure that we're being efficient with our operations. So how does biodiesel affect engine performance?
Compared with petroleum diesel fuel, biodiesel can help engine performance through higher cetane, added lubricity, and more complete combustion, resulting in lower carbon burn that puts less material into diesel particulate filters, or DPFs. Now, the process of creating ultra-low sulfur diesel, ULSD, involves removing some of the sulfur in diesel fuel, resulting in a reduction of the lubricity of the diesel fuel. But on the other hand, blending as little as 2% biodiesel into your ULSD replaces that lubricity, which can help performance. Proper lubricity management can also help engines run smoother, cooler, and more quietly. Modern engines, when using ULSD, rely on a fuel additive to aid in lubricating the process and provide protection against wear and damage. Increased lubricity can help lower maintenance costs by reducing wear on pumps and injectors in the engine.
That's really interesting, Kelsey. And so biodiesel is something that is easy for fleets to incorporate. It's good for engine performance. But one of the next questions is really around how effective is it in lowering life cycle carbon emissions? So can you expand on that a little bit?
Biodiesel is a lower carbon fuel with significantly lower emissions than ULSD. That's important for companies that are working towards lower carbon targets or hauling goods for customers who are encouraging or pursuing reduced carbon emissions targets. For fleets in some jurisdictions, there might also be a requirement to comply with carbon reduction policies, like the Low Carbon Fuel Standard, the LCFS program in California, or say the Clean Fuels program in Oregon. Chevron has another webcast that goes into greater detail on how biodiesel is effective for lowering emissions. I encourage you to watch that as well.
So what other benefits would you like to discuss with us today around biodiesel?
I think it's important that the customer knows that biodiesel can be blended at virtually any level with both petroleum diesel fuel and or renewable diesel to achieve a customized fuel blend based on their needs. For example, B20, so 20% biodiesel and 80% petroleum diesel fuel, is a very common level used by many fleets and consumers around the U.S. In fact, customers and companies such as Cummins has approved biodiesel blends up to B20 in their on-highway applications, beginning with their 2007 models. We recognize that energy needs look different for all of our customers, with some selecting fuel blends based on the desire to reduce life cycle carbon emissions or based on economics or supply or cold weather properties. And it can also be a combination of factors as well. Our goal as a renewable fuel partner is to give customers choices so that they can find a solution that works specifically for them.
That makes a lot of sense, Kelsey. And I really appreciate you being here today and providing some insight on biodiesel. It's great that our fleets have immediately seen lower life cycle carbon emissions from the first day they start using biodiesel. And hopefully that our listeners have learned that major engine manufacturers such as Cummins have approved the use of these fuels up to B20 in their past, present, and future products. So for those of you listening, be sure to tune into our entire series of webcasts to learn more about how your company can start its lower carbon journey.